Do you want to know the story behind Ovi? Watch this episode.
Episode of Nothing to Hide, a 1, a 2, a 3 starts now. Hello everyone, welcome to Nothing to Hide Business and Real Estate Podcast. And today's topic is we get to talk about ourselves. It's going to be a little bit awkward, I think. But we promise you the backstory, how it all started, how we met.
How Ovi was born.
How Ovi was born. Pretty much, all the things that we did for the past,
15 years?
15 years. So just to give you a little bit of a background, we first met 15 years ago. We met in a nightclub. We actually worked in a nightclub. Both of us
Even
worked
worse.
in a nightclub as male strippers. No, not male strippers. Yeah, no. We worked. What did we do in a nightclub?
Basically, we were responsible to get people through the door. So pretty much a little bit of marketing, a little bit of advertising.
I think
Promotional side of it.
It was more of promotional, coming up with events, teams, just to make it interesting. I mean, we had a website. Not too many businesses had a website back then, and we were taking care of the website and constantly coming up with ideas to keep everything fresh and people wanting to come to the nightclub, which perfectly tied in with our full-time jobs that we had at the time. I was working for Moore Medical McKesson. We were developing marketing materials, web and print, and you were doing pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, I was working at a marketing agency in New Haven, working on their digital campaigns. So we have a lot of marketing experience.
Yeah. stripper experience.
So the funny story is how we met 15 years ago here in the States, but we're both Polish. We're both from Poland. And we lived in the same small town in southeastern Poland, Leżajsk. We lived 2 streets away from each other, and we never met each other in Poland. I'm sure we've seen each other on the streets, but we never got a chance to actually know each other there. But the best part of it is our older sisters. We both have older sisters. They knew each other in Poland, and they were good friends.
They actually went to the same school.
Yeah.
And they knew each other here.
Yeah. And we didn't. So
yeah, totally awkward, right? So what happened at the club? We were doing a lot of marketing material. Photo and video was definitely a huge part of it. That's where we found out that we both share a passion for photography and for video, and pretty much something along that way. And after doing a couple of different projects, we decided to open up a
photography studio.
Yeah, it was one of those nights. Hey, dude, let's open up a photography studio. It's gonna be awesome. So that's what we did. We named it VO Photographers. We opened up the studio, and I'm not sure what to say.
Well, if initially it was a part-time job for us, we still had full-time jobs, and that was the primary, our primary income. But after a few years of doing photography as part-time job, we decided to take it full-time, just make a huge leap, quit our cubicle jobs, good-paying corporate jobs, and just throw ourselves into the waves of self-employment.
It was definitely not the easiest decision, at least for me. I mean, at the time, me and my wife Ella, we bought our first house. Our first kid was already born, and it's definitely not the easiest conversation that you want to have with with your better half, I would say. Hey, honey, everything's going great. Listen, I'm gonna quit my job. We're gonna do photography full time.
Who needs the money anyway?
Who needs the money? I mean,
money doesn't bring happiness. So.
Right? Definitely not the easiest conversation, but I mean, after thinking about it, is either you jump or you regret this later in life. I mean, I had a great job. I really did like my job, but there was definitely something holding me back. You have to be wired a certain way. Okay, I'm comfortable. I have a corporate job and everything's going great benefits, but there is a certain dead end to it as well. There's not much room to grow.
Yeah, in my case, I always hated corporate job, being stuck in that cubicle. It's for most majority of my life, pretty much. I was doing basically self-employed. I was doing projects on the side, just side projects, kind of a thing. And every time I had to go into the real job, I hated every single minute of it. So
yeah, but we made the decisions, and we went full time with our photography studio, which took us, through different stages of it. I mean, there were failures, there was successes. I mean,
it was a huge learning not projects, but it was very educational, having your own business. And initially it was a hobby that turned into business, but very quickly we realized that running your own business, it's a whole different beast. And it's not only, I'm going to just go and take pictures. It's going to be all beautiful, awesome, easy.
Well, you kind of have to look at it a little bit differently. Because most of the people, when they see other people running businesses, right? I mean, they don't see the ugly, right? They don't see what's going on behind the scenes. They don't see how much work it actually takes to build a successful business. Yeah. I mean, everyone thinks it's it's jumping unicorns, farting rainbows. you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
That's what people visualize. Yeah. And two dudes, you open up a business, doing pictures, having a lot of fun, and people do not realize that it goes for any business. We quickly learned that business ratio to actually photography ratio, what was it, like
80-20
80-20? So 20% of actually photo work and 80% of building an actual business.
Running a business.
Yeah, running a business.
Yeah. So the cool stuff that people saw us, running around, taking pictures, having fun, that's like 10-20% of actual business. And the rest of it is just hardcore running a business, marketing, strategizing, just a lot of grunt work that happens behind the scenes.
Failing, then switching tactics, switching marketing. There's so much involved. I mean, that's what business is all about. It's not about a certain thing. It's the same crap whether you're selling eggs on a farmer's market, you're selling some fancy bagels. It's only a part of it. Yeah. The majority of everything else happens behind the scenes and people don't actually see it.
Yeah. So the business grew and grew year after year. It was getting better and better. And market crashes happen. Economy changes.
That's I recall this as definitely the funnest. I think it was the toughest time that we actually had during our business. Market got saturated with photographers. Economy was shit, pretty much.
Yeah.
You could say
people didn't want to spend any money, especially on luxury, which pretty much wedding photography is kind of luxury product. So they were cutting costs. If people were not getting married for a couple years, they didn't want to. And if they did, basically they were scaling down their budgets to minimum. So if they were hiring a photographer, it would be like a low end kind of a low budget kind of photography.
Let us put it this way: people would rather spend $500 on a photographer and have a just okay product just to have something, versus spending $4 or $5,000 on a product that they would cherish forever. I mean, it's understandable. People are afraid to spend money.
Yeah.
Economy sucks. This is what you do. I mean, it's normal. Yeah. So what do? You have to adjust. And in our case, it was tough because it was only 2 years that we were full time.
Pretty much, yeah.
2 years that we were doing full time. So it was a huge learning curve. I mean, from doing all the marketing and doing research and constantly adjusting and seeing the market pretty much go down to shit.
Yeah.
I remember that time very vividly. I came back from Mexico. We shot a destination wedding. At the same time, we moved to Saddington, so we got another house. So it was the second house. We didn't sell the first one yet.
And Nina was born.
And our daughter was born. She was 1 month old, 2 mortgages. And then we had to have a tough decision, a tough discussion. We looked pretty much at the business.
We looked at the books and
we look at the financial, standpoint of our business, and it was just failing. It was literally failing.
It got to a situation, to a point where we knew that if we don't do something right now, in a few months we'll just run out of money, pretty much.
Not easy. Definitely not easy. Having an extra human being in your house, having to mortgage it's tough. But I think that's what made us stronger, because instead of sitting in a corner and sucking on a thumb and crying about, oh my God, how everything went to shit.
That's the easiest thing to do. That's what people do.
They
just give up, and that's not us.
So instead of complaining and crying that there was oh my God, the market's saturated, instead of asking questions, oh my God, this is why it happened to us. We went back to the drawing board and we pretty much said, okay, this is where we screwed up.
Yeah.
This is what's going on in the market. This is what we're not doing. This is what we're supposed to be doing. And it took us, it was pretty much an impossible project. Yeah. It's like we went all in and we turned our failure
a huge success.
Into a huge success, over 100 weddings.
Yeah, we pretty much restructured the entire business. We pretty much scrapped everything that we knew about the business, everything that we thought that we knew, everything that they write about books, they write in books about. We just scrapped everything, started with a fresh blank piece of paper, and reinvented the whole business.
Absolutely, you have to fall on your face.
Yeah.
Sometimes multiple times. And if your back is against the wall and you really have no choice, I think that's when the best ideas come together, and that's when you learn a lot about yourself, what you're capable of.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I'm pretty sure a lot of business people have this problem. They think their plate is full, not realizing that they can have twice as much of a load when it comes to business, and it's still doable. It's all in your head. It's a mindset. It's definitely a mindset. It's we have to get out of it. Let's do all that we possibly can. Marketing wise, let's see where we failed. Let's start from scratch. Let's start from beginning. And this is how successes happen. Yeah. It doesn't happen overnight. People think, oh my God, they're doing so great, and it takes a lot of failures to become successful.
And we were pretty much, the business started failing because it was like our own fault.
It was definitely our fault.
The business was good, so we kind of rested on our laurels. It just, we didn't do much. We were doing still a lot of marketing, but not enough. The market was changing, but we were ignorant. We just didn't do anything about it.
Well, this is what happens when we become too comfortable and too cocky.
Yeah.
We're doing good, and you're thinking you're going to be doing great, for the next
forever,
10, 20 years, because this is working, and let's wait it out. It's going to be fine. Well, if you don't constantly adjust to the market, if you don't listen to your customers, this is what happens. Yeah. That's what happened to us.
One day you wake up, the market crashed, and you're screwed. That's the bottom line. Yeah,
that's the bottom line.
And if you're not ready for it, you're screwed. That's why you have to be ready for any market change, any trend change. You just have to constantly involve in your business, and that's what we learned. That running a business, it's basically testing, constantly testing the market, testing new technologies, testing new ideas, new strategies. Just constantly testing and putting it to work and failing and succeeding and using what works, not using what doesn't work, changing it.
But I really do believe that particular failure on our part made us realize how much more work we have to do, and how much more we have to appreciate customers. That's first of all. So instead of just having business customers, we started building relationships with their customers, being super truthful and honest. And sometimes people don't want to hear what you want to tell them; they want to hear what they think they want to hear.
Yeah.
and you tell them the truth. And this is how relationships are born.
Yeah. Educating customers.
Educating
That's a
customers.
big thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of times people don't know a lot of stuff about the business or the product that they're buying or the service that they're buying. Education is a huge part of it. If you educate them about the whole process and they know what to expect, what they're actually paying for, and you're honest, like you said, if you're honest with them, it's a game changer. It's a huge thing.
The bottom line is if you have to answer all of the questions that your customers might have before they even answer them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every single customer, they got a ton of education. There were pretty much no questions asked, just little details here and there. But that was pretty much it. And just watching the market and constantly adjusting and testing things.
So pretty much in a few years after the near death of our business,
Kind of, sort of.
pretty much within 12, 24 months, we pretty much turned around the whole business. And from a failing company, we made it more successful than ever before.
That's when actually Unicorn started farting rainbows.
It was a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of support from our wives. Thanks.
It's unreal. I mean, even from the very beginning, hey, my husband, has a great job, great benefits. Even from going full time, that they supported us throughout the entire process. It's unbelievable. Not too many people would do that. So I appreciate it with all of my heart, and it's the truth.
Thanks, wives.
They definitely have our back. I mean, I honestly believe it would not be possible without them.
Once we had the photography studio at the level that we wanted it to be, we decided to diversify with our businesses, because I think that's a huge thing. That's a huge step that we had to take. I like to say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So we wanted to prevent the situation from happening ever again. So even if wedding photography business disappears from the face of the earth, we have another stream, another source of income happening. So we decided to go into real estate investments. That was something that we had on our mind for a while. But
let's be honest. Once you're getting older, right? well, here's the thing. When we started the photography business, just to clarify, we wanted to run it as a business.
Yeah.
We didn't want to run it, hey, two photographers. Everything we ever started was turning into a business, right?
Yeah.
So we definitely didn't want to be the people, right? That are 50, 60 years old running around with cameras and, shooting weddings or, other events. So it was structured as a business. So the next project was Property People, just like you said. Yeah. So we wanted to diversify it a little bit, so that was like the next big thing on our list. So what do we do after we hit a certain age? What do we do after we hit certain goals that we had? So that was the next thing. What do we go into? I think it ties into providing a service of some kind, right? Yeah. And real estate property investing was definitely one of the things. We kept going back to it because the idea was thrown around for a very long time. And okay, let's try to come up with something. Yeah. Maybe a subscription service. Maybe this. Maybe
subscription
that.
Boxes. We had a lot of ideas.
There was a ton, and we always came back. What about properties? What about investing into real estate? Yeah. That's pretty much how the entire idea was born. Yeah.
We were thinking about like smaller, active income businesses, but we were also thinking about long-term passive income. What happens when we get older than we are? When we're 50, 60, 70, what are we going to do then? So we always think about like long-term strategy. We don't think about we also think about what's going to happen in a year or two, short-term, but we also have a lot of things on our mind, like what's going to happen in 5, 10, 20 years from now.
That's the mindset that you have to have, because if you think short-term, these are the results that you're going to get.
Exactly.
That's the bottom line. So the business, so it was about the Property People was meant to invest into real estate, doing flips.
Yeah, buying investment properties, doing flips maybe, and pretty much investment side of real estate.
And guess what? It failed. It did fail. I mean, I really don't think we did the homework that we were supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's first of all. We learned that you kind of need to be in the business, in the real estate business, in order to be successful at this. So it did fail. I mean, it was put on a back burner. That's when we concentrated even a little bit more on video photographers. We hired a lot of people that work for us, and it just failed. It failed. We scratched the project, and then we realized we came back to it again.
Yeah,
right?
It was still on our minds. We kept coming back and asking ourselves, like, what could have been done differently? What can we do? How do you even start? How do you find properties? How do you find deals? These were all of the questions that we didn't really answer the first time around. So we figured that we have to have boots on the ground and get to know the market a little bit better, get to know the industry much better in order to do anything with investing. Yeah,
at least that's a route that we chose.
So pretty much we had to start from the very beginning.
Yeah, so next project, OV Realty.
Yeah.
So we decided to become real estate agents in order to get to know the industry, in order
to have boots on the ground, to be in this business.
You have to be in the business if you want to do anything regarding real estate. Yeah. If you know nothing about it and you're hoping to find the deals through other people, it doesn't really work that way.
Yeah, and this time we did a lot of market research before we announced anything.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, a lot of sleepless nights, long brainstorming session as we always do at 10 o'clock at night. Over the phone.
Yeah, it's funny. We call each other for 5 minutes, 2.5 hours later with, notebooks, pens, and, and a laptop full of, browser windows open. Yeah. I mean, that's how it works, at least with us.
So pretty much we came up with the whole strategy. We figured out what we want to do, where we want to take OV. We figured out the steps that we need to take to get the project up and running. Even starting with like small details, like, getting your real estate license, what it takes, going to classes and
passing the test
and coming up with, the company name. That wasn't an easy task.
Yeah, company name was, it took a while. I mean, it's all about branding. I mean, branding is a huge part of it. You can have the greatest business in the world. If people do not recognize your brand in one way or another, you failed. You miserably failed. Just like VO, there were people that said, I did see the color with a piece of your logo. It wasn't even a full logo, and I knew who you guys were. Yeah. That's where 10, 15 years of experience when it comes to marketing
helps.
Branding, you have to brand the shit out of it. I mean, from colors to logo to how everything is said, how everything is perceived by others. So building a brand, coming up with a name. You can't come up with just a random name. Okay,
it has to have a meaning.
It has to have a meaning. There were a couple of good names that we had on the list, but what was the problem? Website. The domain taking, or something very similar,
or something difficult to pronounce, like property people.
Property people, right? Definitely not the easiest. It's one of those things that probably wouldn't stick in people's minds.
Yeah.
So OV. So a lot of people have actually asked us how we came up with the name. Because when you say OV, which is OVI, and you say it backwards, it's like VO backwards. So we had a couple of people, oh my God, you just named it a little bit differently and you put, and
that was a coincidence, actually.
It was a huge coincidence.
That was like a cherry on top.
Our brainstorming sessions, a lot of them happen in the car. We have to go somewhere, so there's not much to do, so we brainstorm.
Like a date.
What?
Nothing.
A date? Yeah, there you go. A date. So we kind of shoot the shit, and how do we envision? What do we want in the logo? How do we want the branding to look like? Okay, so
How do we want people to feel about it? And
what does the logo represent? So we agreed on, okay, let's have a door in the logo. Door represents
something new, like
something new,
entrance to something different,
entrance to your new home.
Yeah.
And so how do we make our logo that it says a little bit more about it? So actually, when you look at the logo, you probably don't see it. We do, because we designed the logo. It looks like like a small cityscape, and then there's a door to one of the buildings. So that was the idea. Okay, we want the door in the logo. Now, what the hell do we name it?
Yeah.
A door?
Door Realty.
Door? Dork?
Yeah, that was another tongue twister, and that wasn't an option.
So, as it happens, we go to Google Assistant and, hey, Google, tell us how to pronounce door in other languages. And we ran down the list of different languages that, sometimes you type something, oh my God, it sounds cool, it sounds easy, and it has a meaning. So we went down the list and we stopped at F, which is for Finland, Finnish, and the door in Finnish is Ovi.
There you go.
There you go. Now you know. It's not just VO backwards. It actually has a meaning. So it's a door. OV means a door. Nothing interesting about it.
We just loved it. So
yeah, it's nice and short and sweet. We start branding dorks. Everything has to be kind of perfect. Nothing is ever perfect, but it kind of has to be perfect. Easy to remember, easy to pronounce. Website was the domain was available,
yeah.
or all the social
accounts were available.
We're like, okay, let's not even take this anywhere farther. And it's VO backwards as well, so it's meant to be. That's 100%. So we stuck with Ovi. So there we go, Ovi Realty. Now you know, right?
And then when it comes to Ovi, it's not only a real estate agents. We want to educate our customers. We want to, as we mentioned before, a huge part of photography business was educating our customers about the whole process, what they need to know. And with real estate, we quickly realized that people have no idea what they're supposed to be doing, what to expect when they're thinking about buying a house or they want to sell their house. Even if they're not first-time homeowners, even if someone already bought their house 10 years ago and they're buying it again, they tend to forget. Things change, the processes change. And people kind of rely on, agents, rely on the real estate attorneys to kind of take their hand and lead them. But we want to educate the customers so they know what to expect, what kind of...
we want to take every single customer, grab them by the hand and legs, literally educate them, tell them what it's all about, and hold their hand throughout the entire process, because that's what people need. Yeah. That's what we've done with pretty much every single business that we did. Yeah. You have to educate. You can't just assume that people are going to show up at your door and you're going to talk real estate language and they're going to understand what you're talking about. Yeah. You have to give them education. You have to give them
lots of
instructions, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like, this is what happens. These are the steps. This needs to be done first, and that's how the podcast idea was.
Yeah, that's us. We kind of figure out that the best way to provide that information would be in video format, which an audio format. So our weekly video podcast was born. We called it Nothing to Hide because
literally Peter has nothing to hide. Neither do I.
Yeah, we just want to do no filter, no information, no information hidden. We just want to tell it how it is. If it's good or bad, we'll definitely let our viewers know.
Yeah. So the point of the podcast: educate the customers first. So get professionals from the industry, from brokers to pretty much anything, lawyers,
real estate agents,
and
anyone.
And help educate, everyone.
Yeah, we want to cover a variety of topics, from thinking about getting a house, going through the whole process, describing every single step, talking to like you said, lawyers, talking to agents, talking to insurance brokers. What are the different types of loans, programs, insurance policies? So basically, we can provide as much value as we can to people who are thinking about buying a house or selling their house, but also like to homeowners. So for example, like what type of windows do I need? Vinyl, wood.
What's the difference? Like, even I don't know.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that I want to learn.
Yeah.
You know, so helpful tips for homeowners. Sure, why not? I mean, you know, there are experts at it that will definitely, you know, have a little bit more insight on whatever you read on Google.
Yeah.
You know?
So hopefully we'll be providing a lot of value to everyone, to anyone who has a home or is thinking about buying one.
Yeah, and actually we wanted to take our podcast a little bit farther. So not only educate our customers, we've done marketing for quite a while. So sometimes we get questions from other people, you know,
other business people. Mm-hmm.
How do you do marketing, and what's involved? What do you think works? And sometimes we have brainstorming sessions with people from like different industries.
Yeah.
We just you know, shoot the shit. What works? What didn't work? Why text messages work better than emails 5 years ago? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're like, oh, you're texting your customers? Yeah, we're texting our customers. It worked. It's a lot of trial and error, and it's a lot of. It comes down to experience and. Trying different things. So
the other side
we wanted to take the podcast, you know, a little bit farther and provide, you know, business advice too. You know, other businesses like marketing, what works, what doesn't, and you know, invite people,
different strategies, different marketing ideas, and
other business owners,
so they can share their knowledge.
Absolutely.
And so
should be pretty cool.
It's going to be a big part of it, I think.
Yeah. So educating customers and educating other people from the business.
Yeah. We'll be also we want to talk to local business owners, like small businesses. We want to highlight them on our podcast. So we'll be doing like a short few-minute highlights of local businesses. So
Barbara, why are your bagels the best in town?
Exactly. So we have.
I think it's a big part of it, because if people are buying houses in certain communities, let's say I live in Saddington, and we're gonna go around a couple of different towns and, you know, try to get the best. If you move to a certain town, maybe it's going to be valuable information to some of the people. Hey, I'm moving to, you know, to
where to buy fresh pastries, or what's the best dog park.
I'm moving to Newington, and I automatically know that, you know, Barbara has the best bagels in the world.
Exactly.
You know?
Hi, Barbara.
Hi.
Who's Barbara?
I'm just a random. I think it's going to give people a lot of value. I mean,
by the way, this episode is sponsored by Barbara.
It sure is. I belong to Saddington Talks Facebook group, and there's a lot of people that move into the town. Hey, what's the best pizza in the town? Yeah. What's yada 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 yada. But you know, it's actually it's people's opinions, but you know, no one actually, you know, went to the businesses and asked them what makes their pizza the best or the most special. So that's what we want to do. We want free food, free pizza. It pretty much comes down to, you know, giving everyone a little bit more value. Right?
Pretty much it. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Really? That's it.
So a couple of days ago, we asked you online on our Instagram and Facebook pages to give us questions. What do you want to know about us? What?
My shoe size is 13.
So we got not a lot. We got a few questions from our viewers. The first question is from Monica Rose. How did you guys meet?
I think we mentioned. Yeah.
I think we already mentioned that.
Nightclub, yes, working in a nightclub together, pretty much marketing the crap out of the nightclub and getting people in through the door. That's how we met, Monica.
Yeah. What was your first job and how old were you? That's a question from Ginger. My first job, I was 16. I was in high school back in Poland. I used to work for a small computer company, Pionier. I did like technical support for customers, fixing computers and stuff like that. That was like a part-time job, but gave me some extra money on the side, kind of a thing, when I was like still in school. But my first official job was Taco Bell. Store for 106 in Cromwell, working 80 hours a week.
Do you like tacos?
Yo quiero Taco Bell. Yeah, $5.50 an
I
hour.
think you didn't even know a word of English when you started working.
Yeah, when I came to the States, I barely spoke English. I applied for the job, and the manager at Taco Bell, his name was Dan, he pretty much told me, hey, you're starting, if you want to start, you're starting today. And he put me on drive-thru on this like creepy, crackling speaker headset kind of a thing.
I'll be honest with you, probably the best way to learn the language.
Yeah.
Right?
He was like, I told him like, hey, I don't know how to do this. I won't be able to do this. And he's like, do you want to learn English or not?
Peter, how hard could it be? A burrito.
2 burritos.
2 burritos. A 3.
Like Sesame Street.
A 1 burrito. A 2 burritos. A 3 burritos. Hot sauce.
Pretty much. What about you?
My first job was, I was 15. Yes, 15. Illegal job to work. Cleaning company. Cleaning company, I started during summer because there was not much more to do. I didn't know anybody. So yeah, I was 15, just pretty much grinding the entire summer, working illegally. There was a lot of companies, we were doing, I think, cleaning offices. And
I think you can work before you were like 16.
Maybe, I'm not sure. Yeah, it was a long time ago. Paid under the table. Yeah, please do not prosecute me over this. It was great. The bottom line, work ethics.
Yeah.
Just wired a little bit differently. Like, what can I do, to actually make some money? Instead of sitting around and playing video games.
Or watching people play video games.
Other people, play video games. That's pretty much how my journey working started.
It's like we're very similar when it comes to this, like work ethics and we were both 15, 16 years old, and the first thing that was on our minds pretty much is just getting money, working and working your ass off.
Just doing something. I mean, instead of sitting around, you're doing something. But you have to be wired a certain way. And then, my first legal, I think, job. Not sure.
Stripper.
Yeah, sure. I was working like multiple restaurants as a waiter. I worked in the mall. I worked at Godiva. I worked at women's clothing store, Talbot's. Hi to all the Talbot's peeps. I had a ton of jobs.
Chocolates and women, huh?
Convalescent home throughout the entire high school, pretty much. So there was not, especially when I was of legal age to work, I don't remember a time that actually I didn't have a job. Yeah. So
we're not afraid to work. We know that.
No, I like it. A workaholic, hi. Guilty.
So the next question, what are your motivators and what is your why to what you do?
Who are your motivators?
Who are your motivators? Family. In my case, family. Pretty much. I think it's the same in your case. Oh. I mean, we do what we do to basically for our kids, for our wives, for family, for better future for them, and this is why
family is first. That's a definite. And when it comes to why, I personally don't want to be in the same situation that we were, like we mentioned with Ovi. That
it's a huge opener when you realize that pretty much you have no income coming in,
or you have bills to pay, new kid in the house, and a lot of other stuff going on, and you're put against the wall, and there's just no way out. You just have to figure it out. That's the place in my life that I want to be as far away from as possible. Yeah. So that's my why every single day.
Yeah, but it had to take us to the situation where pretty much you're in a spot where you have nothing to lose. Because you literally, everything and nothing. It's like you can't get much worse. So the only way is up from there. So
once you start becoming a little bit too delicate and you're not taking risks.
Yeah.
I think that specific time in the business, it was the biggest failure that we had to date, and it was the biggest learning lesson. It was the biggest teacher that you cannot learn stuff like this in school from books. You just have to fail and fall down flat on your face. And that's my why, and that's probably your why as well.
That's correct.
And when it comes to motivators or people that we listen to, I listen to Gary Vee. Hustle, work your ass off. I mean, that's pretty much the agenda, and it's so true. I mean, he doesn't wrap anything around.
He's not beating around the bush. He's telling it raw, the way it is.
That's how it is. You just have to work. You have to be patient.
You can't expect results when you're not working. And if you're working and you're not getting any results, it just means that you're not working hard enough. That's the bottom line.
It's very simple. People try to make it difficult, and I honestly think people make it difficult when they try to come up with shortcuts.
Yeah.
And there are no shortcuts in business. There were never shortcuts in business.
Hard work and patience. That's all.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Now, question from Avant-Garde Design.
Hi, Barbara.
There's the Barbara.
There's the Barbara. Yeah, there you go.
Bring us the donuts. What made you want to dive into real estate? I think we already covered that. It was the diversification of businesses, getting some passive income.
I think for me personally, working with people, I absolutely love working with people, figuring out what they need, how to be of service. And this is a service that we're providing.
Yeah, for Ovi, yeah. I was talking about property people the first time we went into real estate. That was like passive income. But with Ovi, definitely working with people, providing value.
Providing value. It's building another business.
Yeah.
It's the longevity of the business is definitely much better than running around with the camera, especially when kids are growing up and you want to work your weekends on your own terms a little bit more. And the bottom line is it's the same shit as any other business. I mean, whether you're selling shoes, you're selling chocolate, you're selling homes or other services, the principles of business are literally the same. Educate your customers, be real, be honest, and just take everybody's hand and walk them through the process. That's the bottom line. It works for every single business. There's nothing different about it. Right? No? So, same thing. I mean, we love working with people. We love being of service to other people, and we love challenges. And this is a challenge.
It is a challenge. We love challenges. We love building businesses. We love the process of
the process of
building businesses.
Yeah, building businesses. It makes me so. When we started developing marketing, tactics for Ovi, or we did our logo. We're building something new that was much more exciting than actually, having Ovi be at the place where it is. I mean, great. Okay, everything's fine. I mean, we still work at everything the way we should, but just building something new and we're overcoming the challenges. Business challenges, learning something new.
And the best part of it is that we do everything in house. We don't have to rely on external designers. We don't have to rely on external marketing people. We just do everything in-house when it comes to developing print materials, when it comes to developing websites, any now video production. We do everything by ourselves, so we have a full control over it, which is a blessing, but also a curse.
Because it is,
yes.
True.
Sometimes if you rely on external sources, external help,
it gives you a breather.
Yeah, you get the product and you're kind of happy with it. It is what it is. In our case, sometimes we're going through multiple tens, hundreds of runs of changes on a single project just to make it exactly the way we want it. Sometimes we're done with a piece of marketing material. We look at it the next day. Nope, garbage.
Let me put it into perspective. We're working on a website, for example. So a typical person that outsources web or pretty much anything. Okay, this is the round of changes that I need. Okay, they make it. You have a couple of days of nothing pretty much, and then you see your changes. Oh, okay, it's great. Maybe we'll change something later. In our case, we finish everything up. We look at it. It's like, this is shit.
We trash it and start from the
We
beginning.
trash it. Yeah, like how many times did we walk out of the office? It's like, okay, that thing that we did for the entire day, yeah, this is garbage. This is shit. We're starting from scratch tomorrow morning, which is a good thing. I don't know. That's how you develop branding. That's how you develop the identity that you want to achieve.
Yeah, that's where the testing comes in. I mean, if the two of us, if we're happy with something, it doesn't mean that the customer will be happy. If it's easy, if we think it's easy to use, doesn't mean that the customers will think the same way. So that's why we do like focus groups. We send the website to other people, or I mean, we get a lot of input from our customers, and we constantly evolve, constantly change it. That's how marketing works. Good marketing works.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
No, that's it for today.
I think that's pretty much it.
Back to our
that's
website.
The backstory. Possibly not the most interesting thing you're going to be listening to.
But you were asking, so we decided to just lay it all out. Be honest again, tell you how it is. It's not all butterflies and flowers and unicorns.
Farting rainbows.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a lot of ups and downs and failures. And that's what we want to do with Ovi too. We want to
build it as a business.
Yeah, we want to be transparent. If there are ups and downs in business, we'll let you know. We'll be doing a lot of, live stories. We want to do like every maybe Friday. We want to go live on social media and do like Q&A, explain what was happening during the last week, not just the good stuff, but the bad stuff. And it's a new business for us. It's a learning process for us. We want to share it with you.
We want to share everything with our customers.
Yeah.
We've learned that transparency is just the best thing ever, because people see you a little bit differently. People look at you like you're a real human being. I mean, there is no such business that success. There are failures, tons of them. And if you don't see it, that means the business does not let you in on the things that they failed at. So we're sharing everything. No F's given. So we hope you liked our backstory. If you have any comments, or if you want to
leave us a comment,
if you want to throw tomatoes at us,
follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. You can find us at ovirealty.com on pretty much any social media platform. Send us a message, leave us a comment, share it with your friends and family.
Absolutely.
Help us out, spread the word, share our page, share our videos.
Don't share your underwear ever. Never. I mean, never.
Like we do.
Like we do. Okay.
All right, guys.
Ciao.